Brian Conoley is only afraid of two things, his mother and the FBI. He thinks this is an intervention, so please, everyone, don't laugh. I also don't think he understands what an intervention is. Everybody, Brian Conoley, for real!
What do you mean I drink too much? You drink too much. I don't even have a drink. No, I know this is not an intervention. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Here we are at the tail end of 2018. 20 green teen. Big year for Canada. I don't know if you guys heard. Marijuana is legal now. You guys don't smoke pot. I was expecting a yip yip. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I know that you know that marijuana is legal now because the CBC was on about a 23-second loop for like the week leading up before we got legalized. And you know, it divided the country. It polarized us. Half of us were over here like, that's fine, that's okay, it's about time. And the other half of us were like, people are gonna be smoking too much weed now, it's gonna affect their memory, it's gonna affect cognitive function. But I was like, relax, it's 2018. We just legalized marijuana. And you know, it's polarized the country. Like half of you guys, you're like, that's fine, that's okay, about time. But then you guys are like, what if people smoke too much? What if it affects their memory and their cognitive function? Don't worry about it. It's 2018. 20 green teen. I don't know if you guys were watching the news in October, but they legalized marijuana. No, can you imagine if that was my whole 15 minutes? I didn't pop enough popcorn and now this motherfucker is doing this for 15 minutes? But it is a big deal, and I was watching the news and I saw Justin Trudeau, you know, in front of the cameras, and he was super proud of himself, you know, did what he said he was gonna do. One of the things he said he was gonna do. And he was like, you know, we're gonna take a big bite out of the black market, you know, our own Canadian Gruff the crime dog, you know, and we're gonna make it safer for kids. And I was like, you know what, Justin, you're right. And I think you've inspired me. I'm gonna go to the Cannabis NB store. Has anyone here been to the Cannabis NB store yet? Show of hands. Be honest, you're not criminals anymore. So I went into the Cannabis NB store and, you know, I get into the first door and then it's about as welcoming as a prison. I felt like I felt more guilty going to buy legal weed than I ever felt buying, like, illegal weed. But, you know, whatever. I pushed through the two security guards and the bulletproof glass, and I opened the door into a big fucking empty room. Like, literally, there's nothing, like, it's like counters, and then, like, you can break dance in the middle. But there's, like, really happy and energetic staff members behind the counter. They're like... So I went up to the first one and I was like, hi, man. And he's like, hi, how can I help you? And I was like, I would love to spend $30 on weed, please. And he's like, sure. I mean, no, sorry, we're all out. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we don't have any dried buds. I said, oh, okay, well, what do you have? He's like, we have oil. Oil? Like, what do I do with oil? I said, well, you can bake with it. And I started to get a little flustered. I was like, I didn't say this, but I was like, motherfucker, I came here because I want to get baked, not because I want to learn to bake to get baked. That's one too many bakes. I was like, what do I even do with it? He's like, you just put some under your tongue and then you wait a bit, and if you don't get stoned, then you do a little bit more, then you wait a bit again, and then you're out of oil. It's like, all right, maybe I'll learn to bake, I don't know. But I, you know, thinking back to Justin Trudeau in the black market, I was thinking, you know, I think the black market's gonna rebound. You know why? Because the black market still has weed. And they deliver. But no, I went up to the store the other day, they're restocked, we're good. We're growing. Canada grew up a little bit, you know? I sometimes like to convince myself that I've grown up a little bit. I'm not stupid or delusional, I know I'm not a grown up, but I know I've grown up. And there's a couple examples in my life that I can kind of point to that really like make me reflect upon this. Like 11-year-old Brian, yeah, surprise, surprise, not that mature. 11-year-old Brian, a normal 11-year-old, it's recess time, we're playing soccer. Ooh, I have to poo. A normal 11-year-old would go, poo, wash their hands, and then go back and play soccer. Here's what 11-year-old Brian had to do, or decided to do, when he had to poo. Because for me, fun was the thing. The most important thing was, fun would override common sense, immediate danger, and even base bodily functions. So I gotta keep having fun. So if I'm in line for Foursquare and I'm next and I have to poo, I'm here's what I'll do. I drop down. I put the ball of my heel firmly against my rectum, and I put all of my body weight onto my rectum, and I pretend to tie a shoe. I'm next, something like that. And then if I do this for long enough, the sensation to poop will abate. You can relate. So I can pop up, play some Foursquare. Now, when it was time to heel pump, as I came to call it, to myself, I don't know why I'm sharing this with 100 people. At that point, I was already poking cloth, So there was gonna be physical evidence of this in the near future. 11-year-old Brian did not do his laundry, and I'll never forget this day. I grew up a little this day. My mom, I was in my room playing Zelda or something. My mom comes in, she's like, come here. We're going to the washroom. I was like, this is a weird scenario. So I follow my mom to the washroom, and she's got the hamper in there, and she's like, who does the laundry in the house? I say, you. I think you, right? You? She's like, yes. Here's what I have to do with your laundry. I look at your underwear, and I see poop in it. I can't put this in the general population laundry. So here's what I have to do. I have to turn on the hot water. I have to take your underwear, your shitty underwear. She said shitty. My mom, I was like, Mom is pissed. And I have to rub your underwear together under hot water to get the poop flecks out of it so it doesn't contaminate the rest of everyone's laundry. I'm not doing this anymore. You're doing this from now on. And I remember thinking that day, I grew up a little. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom when I have to go to the bathroom, I think, from now on. This is fucking bogus. Now in my day-to-day life, I have to act mature almost constantly because I deal with the public. I'm in retail. I'm in the service industry. I have to deal with you monsters. Just joking. I love you guys. Please keep coming. But in retail, a lot of you are probably in the service industry. You know that anything and everything can and will happen. There's no human interaction that you will not experience if you stick in the game long enough, and that's fine. But sometimes it's less than fine. There was this, I sell snowshoes, and there was an elderly gentleman. He came through the store one day, and he's probably pushing 90, and he's got a walking aid, but he's made out of old stock steel. He's gonna be 130 easy. And he looks at me and he's like, son, I need a new pair of snowshoes because the winter's gonna be long if I can't walk in the woods. Fucking right, man. Okay, yeah, come back here. We got snowshoes. So, he's like, my last pair was 70 years old. And they worked every time. And well, these probably won't last 70 years, but whatever. I'm like, so, I start to explain the snowshoes to him. We build a rapport. And he's got a walking aid, so he's not that mobile. So I decide to get down on one knee and kind of explain to him how the harness works. He's here. Well, his bum is here, I should say. And, I'm talking, I'm about to explain something, so I take a big breath in. And at that moment, he lets out the greasiest, gurgliest rattle of a fart. Just. I had two choices at that point in time, okay? I could have done one thing, which was be snide or pretend to gag or make a big deal out of it. Or I could give this man the respect that he's due, swallow that fucking fart, even though I feel pressure under my eyeballs and I know it's not an easy swallow. But that's what I do. Because we are all gonna be lucky if we're pushing 90 and we wanna go snowshoeing. You have done very good in life if you are so well that you can go snowshoeing even though the muscles in your ass can no longer contain the strength of your farts. So fucking fart on, everybody. And I was proud of that man. I've grown up a bit. You know, we live in a very a connected world, and it's hard to grow up in this world. You know, like public figures are no longer like these mysterious people. Like we get every detail from anyone who we want's life. You know, and I look at all these public figures, and I think some of these public figures need to grow up a little bit more. And like one that comes to mind is Elon Musk. Elon Musk fans, I don't know, people in here, you know, okay. So here's the thing, he's got like a ton of resources, right? He's obviously got some brilliance and some technological aptitude, but he's trying to put people on Mars. Like us, people. Look at what we've done to Earth. My God, I think our track record reflects that we should not go to Mars. We should not go to space. We have the capacity just in Fredericton alone to probably fuck up all of space forever. You're like, that is not the grown-up thing to focus on right now. Like, Elon, with your resources and your brilliance, make life here for us more pleasurable, more peaceful. There's if I had his resources and I was in his position, here's what I would do. 2 things I would focus on. Number 1, a functioning hoverboard. Have you seen what passes for a hoverboard today? These monstrosities, these atrocities, these 2 wheeled things, wheels fucking roll. They don't even hover. That's what a hoverboard is? I call bullshit. If it's tough, Elon, if it's tricky, dial it back. Just make it hover. I don't have to go anywhere. I can pretend I'm Marty McFly over water, and we all know hoverboards don't work over water. I'd be totally fine with that. Second thing I'd work on, a functioning GD lightsaber. George Lucas made lightsabers look real in the 70s. Technologically, that was eons ago. We should be on the page now where we can make a real functioning lightsaber. What is a lightsaber? It's 3 things. It is hot, it is light, and it stops here. We have figured out light, we have figured out hot. Elon, fucking figure out here. And again, if it's tricky, dial it back. I don't need it to be hot. I will chop my arm off. I would probably chop every person in this room's arm off were I given a functioning lightsaber. But I propose this to you to think about. How peaceful and great would the world be if we could all resolve our differences on hoverboards with real-life lightsabers? Be a better place, in my humble opinion. Growing up. Gotta fucking grow up. This is me trying to remember my 4th bit. Oh, yes. Nationalism. There's something happening in the world. It's percolating. I don't feel great about it. There's this thing going on where pride and nationality are very strongly linked. We see it in our province. We see it in the country below us with that president. We see it in Brazil with the newly elected leader that they just chose. This whole idea of being proud of where you're from, it's crazy. If you think about it and boil it down to its base notion, that's being proud of where your mother's vagina was when you came out of it. I don't know about you, but I had very little influence over my mother's vaginal location when I came into the world. That would be, to me, it's just as insane as like looking at an African giraffe's beautiful long neck and being proud of it. Like, I can appreciate it and think it's beautiful and be glad it's there, but I had fucking nothing to do with it. And it's deterring us, it's distracting us from the real important truth, which in my opinion is that we're all the same. People are the same. People are the same everywhere. And it's these little differences that we all share or don't share that make life really like fun and interesting, and why you travel or why you talk to strangers or do anything, right? And I remember the day that I inherited this core belief of mine. I'll tell you a story first. Me and my friends, let's go back 20 years, okay? I'm 15, 16 years old. I'm in Toronto, Ontario, just north of there, and me and my friends had this game we used to play. If you farted in front of one of us, our friends, our group, and you said safety, you're fine. But if you farted and someone smelt it or heard it, and they said the word doorknob before you said safety, everybody who witnessed that event gets to pound on you until you touch a doorknob. You would think that's a pretty unique and specific set of rules, right? So let's flash forward 20 years or 10 years. I'm like 30 or so, 25, whatever, doesn't matter. But I'm in Hawaii. I'm a world away. I'm as far away from my home as I can be. I'm on the most isolated island chain in the world, and I'm teaching bird study to a group of kids from all over the world, from like Tonga, Samoa, Hawaii, Japan, the Philippines, like all over the place. And we're on this concrete slab, and it's hot out, it's Hawaii, and some of these kids, the Samoa kids, are bigger kids, you know? And we're all sitting on a circle, and this one kid, he lets out this machine gun rattle of a fart. Like the acoustics were primed. He was sweaty, the concrete, it was outside, the wind was in the right direction. Everybody heard it. Great laugh. And as the laughter subsided, the kid next to him said doorknob. Get the fuck out of here. And then the kid who made the fart, his face sunk. Because it dawned on him, there wasn't a doorknob on the entire camp. It was all push, slide, or levers. We beat that kid till the sun went down. Because we're all the same. That's my time, everybody. Thank you very much. Thanks so much for coming out. Love you guys.
Brian Conoley, everybody. All right, you ready for a stretch? Yeah, why don't we take a 20-minute stretch? There's a bar in the back. Paul, hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Paul is a great bartender. He will get you beer or wine. It's a real wide variety we have today, folks. But so you choose to drink or choose not to drink. There's an outside option as well. Wing, 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 wing. All right, we'll see you in 20 minutes. Come back. Don't go away.